welcome back to ASM Sekai. We've been gone for a long time, vacations, Comic-Con, but we're back. We have been watching every single anime and whatever it is. Catching up has been really hard, but here we are. We're going to start off with the main anime that was, I think, ruled Comic-Con. Frankly speaking, you talk about comics and One Piece was everywhere, starting with the biggest freaking massive Luffy Gear 5. We saw mad laws. I was dressed as laws and I saw mad laws. So we're going to be talking about One Piece. Make sure you like and subscribe. And without further ado, Moto, 1077 to 78. Let's talk about that first. 77, where we finally get the winner, Luffy, and 78. Let's compare that to how it felt in reading in manga and seeing in, animated.
Oof, good question. I guess I'll sound like a hater, but for me, always manga in One Piece hits harder and better. I think it's the whole pacing in the moment you experience it. But I have to say, the last few episodes, even the conclusion of Luffy winning and the celebration of Momonosuke, I think that was well done. And the actual moment and finding the music all connected better for me than during the fight in Gear 5 that, we were like, no, we don't want that shit right now, right? But now it's like, we want that shit. That was nice. I like the pacing of it. So I really enjoyed even just the conclusion of it. Something with One Piece after the whole fight, it's actually very interesting, right? Like it's such a good feel. Like the main thing is, like, for me with the anime is the action improving, in the animation and the additional music that makes the moment a lot more, empowering. And I think they did that with the 77 and the character that I really want to bring, Toko, which is again goes back to like One Piece. Like I don't know how they do it, but when you actually stop and think about it, she's been drugged. It's such an emotional moment, right? Like she's a test subject for Kaido's experimentation of drugging civilians. They're starving and they're forced to eat these, semi-devil fruit thing that makes you laugh even though you're crying. And again, it's one of those things like Oda does so well. Like people look at One Piece and like, it's such a childish show, and you're like, well, hold up, like, it's like, wait a minute, like she watches her father get shot, and she has this fruit that makes her laugh the whole time when she's crying. It is one of the most disturbing scenes that you could think of, right? Like when her father gets shot and she's crying, but she's laughing, right? Like, and so now you see the conclusion of her dream and everything, coming to fruition, and seeing that moment with the lighting effect in the end of the Wano. Yeah, I think it was beautifully done. I loved it. And yeah, I'm happy. Like I think you and I kind of been hating a little bit on the Gear 5 fight, but I think the 1077 and the conclusion, each individual conclusion point's been fantastic. And 1078, that's kind of I think where Momonosuke gets reintroduced to the Shogun world, and we finally get to see his adult form, which is he's pretty badass. So I think they did that fantastic. It was fun watch. The pacing was good. They added things that are fun and kind of needed compared to the Gear 5 fight where they were kind of lacking on they added stuff that was like repeater and we didn't want. And this time in those two episodes, I feel like they added stuff that we really wanted. So that was fun stuff. What's your take on it?
My mic is going crazy right now, but besides the issue, I let me just tell you this, and I think it's a unanimous feeling in our group, is Gear 5 was a fail in a lot of ways. It was hyped up so high, and it just didn't carry the momentum because you had too much useless moments happening in epic key moments. And when the epic key moments happen, you either ended the show, took it away, and it made us hate. Well, at least it made me hate everything that was One Piece at that moment. Um, but then later on, when this ended, and you get to pause and see exactly what happened. You see now them cheering and celebrating. They finally got their shogun. Momo's the big reveal. The For everybody that's watching it, they're like, "Oh man, you're right." People think it's a cartoon. It looks cartoonish. It looks childish. It's for
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
bro. When Wano ended, everything hit that how much they were once enslaved. They had
Yes.
been drugged and now forever have this disease that you basically are laughing when you're crying inside. It's so
It's so
traumatizing.
disturbing.
It's
Yeah, that
so,
is so.
bro, the part where she's seeing her dad get shot and she's laughing and you're just
Yeah.
like, and now you get to see it. They're liberated. They're
Yeah.
free now. Luffy, Joy Boy, Sun God Nika, he freed them. Now they're liberated, and you feel that liberation, that excitement, and you're like, holy shit. For
And you
20
finally get the
years,
laugh. You finally get the laugh that is meant to be a
you
laugh.
finally get
Yeah.
food. You
Yeah.
finally get to be truly happy. And like when you're seeing them, then now let's move to 1079 and 1080 because I think they play hand in hand. And before I pass it to you, I absolutely loved the past two episodes. I thought they
Mm.
were perfect One Piece. We got to see the Straw Hats be stupid as hell. We saw Luffy and Zoro use their strongest attack to drink booze and eat food. It was he used his snake hands to get all the meat. Um and the scene everybody was waiting for, where
The death
Sanji
of
died.
Sanji?
Where Sanji died.
When Sanji died, that's what I said in the chat, right? It's like R.I.P. Sanji. Like Avatesh probably had no idea, right?
Yeah, no, but it's more yet to come. But my thing is also when Zoro and Sanji finally met, and they're like, I love the best friend moments, because it's like
Yeah.
they respect each other so much, and they probably would be the worst version of each other. Like Luffy is just Luffy. I think Luffy just has this relationship with every single one of his nakamas that he's the captain and he's bonded with. Like Nami could beat his ass and nobody's gonna stop her. Like Nami,
No.
he could be the pirate king and Nami is still gonna beat that ass. Like it's just who
Yes.
Nami is. Zoro just cares for the right path and food. Sanji cares for food and obviously chicks. Like everybody has a different purpose and Luffy fits to them in an equal balance. But the relations Sanji and Zoro have, and he's like, "Oh, you could forget about killing me." He goes, "No, now I'm gonna kill you." I love that dynamic. It's like they're best friends, and it's like the best
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the little bit of brother siblingish kind of the dynamics that they have. It's fantastic. Like you said, when when they go like full power to eat food and drink, like I don't know. I've been rereading the whole One Piece and almost caught up, right? Like, I love how also Zoro and Luffy, their dynamics is also fucking hilarious because they're actually very identical. Their definition of hero is identical. It is so funny to watch. It's like only difference is like Luffy like I don't drink. Zoro's like I drink. Like give me
You
alcohol.
you know what was a hilarious theory is Zoro was going to be the captain of One Piece, but he got lost.
That's probably true. I mean, if you, I mean, that's actually like a legitimate theory because Oda did write Monster where Ryuma is the main character, right? Like, so there was definitely a moment where he probably did want to have someone like Zoro be the, the captain of the show. So, but I think he made every decision right from that point on, and like and then like the whole celebration just I just love it. Like there's something about One Piece, like even Ines Lobby and Water 7, it's the same, like yeah, and Dressrosa, Wano, like major fight, emotional fight, fantastic fight. But the moments after the fights also just as good in a completely different way. Entertaining, like
Personally, I like these two episodes more than probably any of the Gear 5.
Yeah, I mean, like me too. Like I laughed, and it was such a fun, like rewarding. I think that's one of the things. It's very rewarding because of the
Spot
whole
on, spot on.
bounty. Yeah, like it's such a fun thing to watch, and I still remember like in Yugoslavia, that's where you actually learn about Garp, right? And that moment was
Not in the
fucking
live action.
hilarious.
Live action, you learn about it from day one.
Yeah, I know. I don't even don't get me started on that shit.
It's
Like
not shit. It deserves its flowers.
fuck that shit. I'm not giving that front at all. But like after Dressrosa, they create the Grand Fleet, right? That's what happens, and then obviously, maybe I'm skipping ahead in the episode. After Wano, he's officially a Yonko, right? Like it's such a like you and I talk about this, especially in the manga side, the respect that he earns from this journey, and I feel like the last two episode has captured that so well. It's just so fun to watch, and then the fear that you see.
Our favorite moment is not even here yet.
I know, right? It's the next episode, bro. It's the next episode. That's one of the most badass moments. But
Bro,
yeah,
I
like
think
oh
I think
shit.
I think both you and I are gonna just smile like a kid at a candy shop.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Like I'm actually genuinely excited. Like you said, like you and I had the same reaction. Last 2, 3 episodes just been fantastic. It's rewarding. The journey is being paid off, and they're paying off the moments. And I think this is one of the Oda's masterful points where end of the arc is like you actually stop to enjoy the moment a little bit. Like I think Full Metal Alchemist also kind of like the end of the journey. The last two episode they did such a fantastic doc, and everybody was like, wow, it's one of the greatest anime of all time, because I feel like they closed the arcs well. I mean, Full Metal Alchemist is very short. Like I think a lot of shows kind of struggle, they just kind of move on, but like with the One Piece, and I think we all enjoy this moment and just like celebration and just fuck yeah, I love it. Like the fireworks at the end, man, that was gorgeous.
I loved how when Luffy's just being himself at the banquet. And oh
Yeah.
no, before that, let me just talk about how you see this Wano chef just making all these dishes and he's having all these things and he places it, has a whole speech, and it's just Jinbei sitting laughing. He going,
He's
they
like,
weren't waiting 2 hours.
Uh, yeah, like what were you thinking? It's Luffy. He's not gonna wait 2 hours. Like,
No, and then when Luffy goes to play the games and he just punches it with the thing. It's those are the moments, and I feel like because we don't get enough of them. Like if
yeah,
you put One Piece as together, there's a lot of stupidity, and I feel like most of the stupidity is to blame on the creators. It's not from One Piece. It's just the fact that they put useless stuff, but we rarely get stupid crew moments because they're never together. Every single arc they land
yeah,
in, somehow, like Zoro is going to get
yeah,
lost by himself, but
yeah,
somehow they're
exactly.
always separated. So you're always like
Yeah,
trying to find them, and when they find each other, it's such a grand moment. And we're
yeah,
actually what Luffy said in episode 1000 when Jinbei said, "I am here." He's like, "We're going to have a big banquet and celebrate at the end."
yes,
And this is what's happening. They're
yeah.
celebrating with every single person. What Luffy said he's gonna do, liberate and free, helped his friend Momo. This is a 10-year journey.
That's fucking insane.
It's that's what we're getting. We're getting a conclusion, a final closed chapter of 10 years of excitement, frustration, and joy. That
Yeah,
like that's the best way of putting it. One Piece is not number one. It still has every single chance to be number one anime. But I
I'm
am
telling you, this is just remake it, man. I'm sorry. I think this is just remake it. Have you seen like, so it got shut down, obviously, but yeah, one of the YouTube channel had the Gear 5 fight straight. No other scenes. Bro, that
can I
shit was fire,
can I
man.
tell you something?
It was
I don't care if it has nonstop. Let me just say something. This is going to be spoiler to another topic we're going to talk about, but I'm just going to right now just say it. JJK just did the fight better.
ooh.
This week's JJK episode
that was fire, right? That was fire. That was fire. But dude,
No, better than Gear 5. It was. I did not blink. I did not blink.
well, well, that's what I'm saying. If you watch the continuous thing, you will not blink, dude.
I'm
It
not
is.
gonna
It
give
is.
one Gear 5 freaking pass just because a fan edited and made it. It's a fail because they failed it.
Oh well. Time out, time out. I agree with that. Yeah, they failed it. I'm not disagreeing with that, but like the continuation one, like you see the potential, is what I'm saying.
I
Like
know
I
the
wish that's.
potential. I know. We
Yeah.
read the potential. Like we read the manga and we're like, oh my god, this is going to be huge. But what the anime did is it introduced 40% flashbacks, 20% opening credit, end credit. So we got 40% of content.
No, we didn't get 40% content. What the fuck are you
Oh
talking
no,
about?
sorry. We got 40% of No, let's just say let's just give it. We had 40% of
Okay.
content, and then we had a
Right.
special.
Yeah, we had the special episodes.
Recapping 3 episodes of 40% content.
Yeah, there was a flashback of the one episode before, and I was just like, "Oh my god, you did
I
not just
s-
do that."
but it like overall I think 1079, 1080, they were such fun, delightful chapters. Oh, Greenbull's here, Admiral Greenbull.
Oh yeah,
It,
yeah, yeah.
it's better. It's better than the manga. I'm gonna say his powers, everything
Yes.
looks better than the manga.
I mean, they showed the fight, which I like. That's what I like. I always say when you're adapting anime, it's okay to add the fights, right? And
That was
the
great.
I think the Green Bull and the fight were just one panel where he has both the king and the queen
Yeah,
like
that's it. We didn't see
pierced.
anything else.
I think, yeah, I think that was it, right? Like, so like I love the fight. That was well done. I mean, he's powerful, but obviously it's hard to gauge the power level because those guys are you know they got their asses whooped by Sanji and Zoro, so
Well,
they're
they were
not full
also hurt.
power.
Remember, Green Bull kept on
Yeah,
saying it, and I like that
mm,
because when we
yeah,
were reading the manga, we're like,
yeah. It
how powerful is he? Why did King and Queen lose this easily? But it makes sense
yeah,
because they were
yeah.
already
They
beat
kind
up.
of yeah, and he was kind of like letting them know like stop trying, bro. Like you guys are near dead, and
No, but I love Green Bull just sucking the life out of them, and then
yeah,
how the flowers look, and when he's basically feeling his power. That part of anime, when anime gets adapted like that, and I feel the
yeah.
past 2 episodes have kept at like 1 in 1 chapters. I don't think it has like dragged on. I feel like it's moving correctly in these past two because we have had no flashback.
What we have added the thing that you should add in anime adoption, and that's
And yet we
why
were
even though
able to
the
fit 21 minutes. Yet we're able to fit
yes,
whatever the timeline is. It's just like,
yeah,
you can do this shit. Why don't you?
yeah, yeah. It's like for some reason they added the things we don't want them to add in the Gear 5, which was a lot of flashback. And it's like, okay, we had enough the flashback. Let's focus on the fight, enhance the fight, exaggerate. Same thing for what you just mentioned with JJK. It's a lot more intense in the anime than the manga. That's how you make adoption. That's what Demon Slayer does. That's what JJK does. That's sometimes One Piece does, but that's the point. Like I always like reemphasize. But yeah, this celebration's been fun, and it's gonna continue for what 2 more episodes, I think. Right? I think.
So
Uh,
this is the spoiler section, and before we wrap up, if you don't want to know what happens the next 2 episodes, don't listen to this. Make sure you like and subscribe. But 1081 is gonna be this is spoiler. 1081 is gonna be the fight where Momo Yamato go ahead, and we're gonna see the panel of
yeah.
them. I think we see Shanks at the end of the
Well,
episodes.
we no, I think you see the Shanks the whole thing because in the preview you see Shanks already in the
Okay,
preview, so
okay.
he's definitely showing that.
I think it's gonna end with our scene, the one we want to see. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be straightforward.
Oof.
Green Bull lays that ass, and then Shanks basically slaps that ass, and then
Yeah.
Luffy and them are just
From
sitting there
far
cheering.
away.
And then
Yeah.
the next episode they leave Wano.
Yeah.
And that's
And the
the
next
episode
news.
where Robin's gonna ask Luffy if he wants to know about Pluton, and he's gonna say no.
Yeah. And also that's where the Straw Hat flag actually gets planted.
Ooh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But oh, that's
Yeah.
also What else are we gonna find out? We're gonna find out about Luffy making going. Why is Buggy the Emperor? He's kind of stupid. Uh,
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, yeah,
We're
that's
all like, yes. What the heck?
yeah.
So okay. Oh, so we did have to talk about it. I wish Amethyst was here because you and I already had this conversation. Law Kid and Luffy all having a $3 billion bounty. What's
At
your
this
thought
point,
on that?
I am okay with it because, like the explanation went in the manga, it's the equivalent total of Big Mom and Kaido. So they couldn't give,
Yeah.
more bounty than it was already there in the world. It's not like they give a little extra, but the cherry on top was Luffy. I know we wanted more. We wanted a power scale difference because bounty basically equals power scale. That's how it is. The higher the
Yeah,
bounty, the
yeah,
strongest you are. So
yeah.
we
It's
wanted
not
that.
exact, but yeah, it's not exact, but it's most definitely a power scaling
But
mechanism.
I think the bounty, I don't think Gorosei gave this bounty. I think Morgan did, right?
No, I think no. Gorosei gave the bounty, but they say do not put Luffy's Gear 5 face or the D
Oh,
in
the
the
D, yeah,
name.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah, yeah,
Morgan
yeah.
being Morgan, he just gave it out. I think Gorsei didn't want to give him more, and they'd be like, "Who the hell is he? Why is he getting more?"
Yeah.
Now that these three, the worst generation captains, get it, it's like okay, all three of these are crazy good. So I guess it's a strategy from Gorsei, but I also understand why Oda did it. He just
Yeah.
like it's more than just number. He's like he's gonna get there. He's gonna get the highest number possible. But wait,
I also I also believe, and this is kind of getting into a little bit of the future spoiler point. Oda has mentioned multiple times that I think he had the end game in mind since the very beginning. And this whole journey has been kind of like a creation and making sure he fits
imagine
in
he
the
wrote the
narrative.
ending a long time ago and he's just stretching it now.
Uh, but maybe, but I think the whole point, and you know what happens in the Egghead arc, right? The whole point I think is to show that they haven't
Spoiler.
entered the final stage. Yeah, spoiler. Enter the final stage, and the three of them supposed to represent what a new level yonko is relative to the other power scale, right? So they
What do
each
you mean
match
other? You
out,
talking
right?
about even more like the Gorosei and stuff now?
No, so people always have this discussion between Amuro versus Yonko, who's stronger, right? And in both scenarios, this is the final, like the final peak battle. There's another level within that, right?
Yeah, there's a brand new
So
level.
yeah, look, I kind of break it down to like new guys, right? And then you got the mid and the peak, right? And I think the whole point was Oda trying to show as we progress after this point what a new level Yonko means relative to these other powers. And we know the outcomes, right? Right. So I think that's the whole like that's the other part of it is to show that yeah, Luffy is stronger, but their relative strength. He's maybe a little bit stronger. And if Luffy was in their other shoes, the result would have been the same. Is basically what I'm getting.
But right now you're jumping the gun in terms of where we are at. We'll talk about the manga part different. Let's just stick to the
Yeah,
anime
yeah,
really
yeah.
quick. So Wano is ending in the next two episodes, right? Like completely finished in
Yeah, I
two
think so.
episodes.
I
So
think so. Within 2 episodes, yeah.
yeah, so next week we're gonna get one of our favorite panels. For now, there's a lot more favorite panels later in the future.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I know, right?
but this is it's easily one of our favorite moments because it's so badass. It's just so
Respect
badass.
for yeah, yeah. That's actually badass. Yeah, it's the badass moment. The respect comes later, episodes,
Yeah,
chapters. But that was a badass moment. I was like, no, he didn't. Like he's fuck. Oh man,
respect
that shit
earned.
was
So
fire.
yeah, so we're both satisfied. I don't know about Amy. I feel like he's more into. Actually, no, he would be satisfied because of that scene. The bat scene.
Yeah,
It
that's
it
Amy
was
C.
it was spot on in terms of exactly the reaction we all expected the whole fan base to
Yeah,
get. It
yeah.
hit every single level. I'm not saying in the sense where some people will get the sexual side of it. For me, it was the Sanji dying part.
For me, it's just a pure joy, and then the funny, different reaction. So you see Luffy and Yamato jumping in. They're like Luffy obviously just doesn't care. He's
Luffy
just
doesn't
having fun,
care.
right?
He doesn't
Yeah, and
care.
then Zoro is like he's just laughing and drinking. He's like, "Oh, this is fun," right? And then Sanji, obviously, the perv is like, he's dying. He's like,
Sanji went to
reaction.
heaven. Sanji's like, if I
Yeah,
die now, I'm good.
yeah. What do you
Momonosuke,
think of that?
everybody. Yo, oh, another thing. I think this is a key thing I want to sign off on. And I think I stand by corrected. Nami is the most powerful person in One Piece. And I'll tell you why. She punched the Shogun in the head.
Oh yeah. Oh, nobody misses Nami. Nami is the boss, man.
Nami, it doesn't matter who you are, Nami will fuck you up. That's basically it. I think we're satisfied. We're excited for 81, 82. These are the pacing we want. Maybe rush it a little bit more too. We want more content, but like and subscribe. We'll be back with manga talk soon. We can't wait to talk about
Yes.
that. So check that video out. It's gonna be coming out. So peace.
Peace out.